It is important. It varies from person to person because technical adaptation is what could differ from person to person. For what purpose you are doing. If your mind analyzes, starts missing something, grows into a desire of a glory or recognition of a certificate, and then you are doing service, but you are claiming it's a selfless service. But actually, you want a glory, you want people to recognize. So, thus, it may vary from person to person. That thing may not give you any sadhana at all. The mind has to become quiet, silent, and recede. So it can become recede, quiet only when there are no expectations when you are working in this world. That's what the most troublesome. It's very difficult to hold back the mind, not to have any expectations when you are working. When you are working means only when you don't have expectation, that can be called a selfless. Working means you have nothing to gain, simply you are doing, still you are doing. That's what the selfless service. It has to be though, otherwise if the mind desires, then the sadhana doesn't happen. So in that case, it can be very effective also, if you don't have expectations, if it is simply mind accepts. So that is how I did for 20 years when I did. There were no expectations, no imaginations. When I was with Swamiji was serving, at that time there were no imagination that I become a yogi and everybody worship my Pada Puja or everybody recognize me. There were no such imagination idea at all was there. I never thought that I would become a yogi and all these things would happen. So that is how the mind was simply quiet and receding. Then that purpose gets served. Yeah, at least if you are trying to help somebody, if you are considering others, that is always recommended and good. Even though a little bit ego is there, a little bit desire come, slowly it gets saturated, filtered, and you go on losing that ego of expectations. So it is good. Good karmas are always recommended. So that through that eventually you can overcome the desires or expectations. Because always it is not possible for a person to remain in samadhi or in meditation at all times. Be coming out. So when you come out, what type of life you are going to lead is important. Is your life helpful to somebody, or at least is your life is not bothering to somebody? So that type of things. So that way, it is always good to go for a selfless service, even though it may not be selfless instantly.